What ways, wait, what are ways you help children cope?
With coping? Well, there's lots of ways to help with coping skills. Depends on what the problem, what the strongest emotion is. That's usually the way that I go with. So if it's anger, you're going to teach them ways to control their anger and calm down and things of that nature. If it's anxiety, it's kind of the same way. There's different strategies to calm down and cope. Uh-oh, I fell down again.
Angela.
Angela.
I fell down again. I need to pull it out a little bit. That good?
I think so.
Can you see me over? I think your thing's in the way of the camera. Good? Okay, good. Ways to help kids cope, there's all kinds of ways to cope. I always tell kids you can talk it out with somebody you trust. Just venting and getting feelings out is one way. Writing in a journal or feelings or diary or something is another way. Staying active and doing things you love. Distracting your mind with other activities. Deep breathing and relaxation exercises. Those are all different kinds of ways you can cope. But the strategies would be a little different depending on what the number one strong feeling is.
Ari, the girl in paper things, gets deemed as a troublemaker after her grades start dropping. Based on your experience, how do you think students cause trouble in schools because they have problems at home?
Oh, I see that all the time. Yeah. A lot of times, if there's problems going on at home, or your life's just not how you want it to be, or you have no control over certain situations and things happen, a lot of resentment and anger can build up in a kid. And when that happens, you kind of push everyone away that tries to help you. You kind of have an attitude of, what's the point? Nothing's good is in my life right now. Why should I even care? Why should I even try? So yes, I do see that happen quite often, and I think it all comes from a lot of anger and resentment inside.
Ari and Gage both don't like talking about their situations or about their mother's death. So what are topics that children are specifically sensitive to?
It depends on the kid. Some sensitive topics would be any kind of abuse, whether it's verbal, sexual, or physical. Those are very sensitive topics that kids oftentimes do not want to talk about, because with those problems comes a lot of shame, and a lot of times kids tend to blame themselves for what was happening. So those are the type of topics I typically see kids not want to talk about. Sometimes at school, since I'm a school social worker, sometimes kids don't want to talk about really sad things at school because they're afraid that they're going to start crying and they're not going to be able to stop, and other kids will see them, other kids will judge them, other kids will they'll be embarrassed by that. So if it's a particularly sad subject, sometimes they don't want to go there with you right away. Any topic, kids will eventually talk about it, but they're not going to talk with you unless they have a relationship with you, unless they trust you. So sometimes when I see kids in counseling, it's, we don't even talk about the reason why they're there for many, many weeks, because it takes time for them to trust you and open up.
Based on your experiences working in school, are most students ashamed of their situation?
Ashamed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I see that a lot. I have a few kids coming to mind right now that just this year have told me that they feel judged. They don't feel popular. They don't feel like they matter, and they have told me that they feel that way because they don't have the same electronic devices. They don't have the same kind of houses. They're not involved in a lot of activities. Their clothes, may not be as nice, or their shoes may be different, things of that nature. So I do think that it does make them feel ashamed.
Does anyone have any more questions? No.
Got them all?